Fable has always been my go-to game. It was even the reason I started playing games in the first place. Now that a new Fable is in the works by Playground instead of Lionhead, I can think of a lot of things they could fuck up really bad. But no, let's not talk about that, because my mind goes crazy when I think of the possibilities Playground has with this reboot. So that's what I'm going to discuss in this video. All the chances and possibilities Playground has with this new Fable game. Number 10. A connection to the older Fable games. First of all, I really hope this game takes place in a whole different time than the original Fable games. But nonetheless, I think it is important that this game has a connection with the original Fable games. Let us meet the great grandparents of Teresa and our hero, or meet the father of Jack of Blades, or even explore the origin story of Jack of Blades. I think especially fans of the older Fable games will really enjoy that, myself included. Number 9. A lot of character customization and a morality system with big consequences for the looks of our character. The last proper Fable game, Fable 3, was released in 2010. That's more than 10 years ago. There are way more possibilities now and they skipped a whole generation of consoles. I think it's safe to say that the game will have more customization options and that would be great. But let us actually wear armor like in the first Fable and let us really customize our characters. But more important is a morality system with big consequences for how our character looks. I would really like my character to look like a godlike figure when playing pure good, or literally the devil when playing bad. Fable 1 did this in a good way, but after that game I think they could have done a better job. Let's pick it up again here. Number 8. A morality system with big consequences for the story. Okay, so this is a big one. As I said before, the last proper Fable game was released more than 10 years ago, and when it comes to how stories evolve in games, we have made big steps. In the meantime, we got games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain and other games where your choices really make a different story for the game. I would love to see that in Fable. Fable always said your choices have impact, but it was just being good or evil. I think it would be perfect if they take the next step when it comes to story consequences and really give us different paths to go down. In real life, it's not always clear what is the good or evil choice, so let that be complex in the game as well. Like the very first choice in Fable 3, where you had to choose between your love interest or a group of people coming to the castle that would be executed. I would love to see that more, actual hard choices. Number 7. Some kind of multiplayer. Okay, this is a tricky one, because believe me, I really think Fable is all about the single player experience. I think a certain game in the past made that very clear. But when I finished the epic story and all of its side quests, or silver quests as we should say in Fable fashion, I really want to have a reason to stick around in this game, and a multiplayer mode with friends would be the perfect reason. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't think the game is bad if it doesn't have any form of multiplayer, but a dedicated co-op mode with specific side quests that are made to play with your friends would be a really nice touch. That would make you play the game just a whole lot longer. Number 6. Mounts. I would love Fable to have mounts like horses or even magical creatures, especially if the Fable reboot is an open world action RPG. What would feel better than shooting from your mount with your bow and attacking a giant creature that way, like in Horizon? Right, doing it in the Fable reboot of course. Number 5. A good balance between melee, magic and ranged attacks. In Fable 3 and also a little bit in Fable 2, magic was way too overpowered. The reboot needs to get this right in my opinion. I love switching between ranged, a bow that is, not a gun, melee and magic attacks. They could come up with a whole new magic system that adds new kinds of spells. Also, a bigger variety in melee weapons would be great. Let us dual wield swords for example, or let us fight with sword and shield. Number 4. I would like it if the game took place in Albion. Albion, what an adventures we had in this land. I would love it if the game took place there, and perhaps in different regions as well. Maybe see Aurora return, but maybe if the game is in a different time period, Albion and Aurora could be really different. A big open world map with different countries is the best way to go in my opinion. Number 3. Let it be in the time of the Old Kingdom, so Playground can have freedom. Peter Molyneux said it himself, Fable took time jumps between games that were way too big. Fable 3 took place during an industrial revolution and that took a bit of the magic away from me. A jump further in time is not a possibility in my opinion, and a jump back in time would give the developers the perfect freedom to make the game more high fantasy. Could you imagine a Fable game with dragons? A man can only dream. Number 2. Fable could learn a lot of the success of Horizon Zero Dawn. Before the new Fable was announced, there were already rumors that Xbox wanted to reboot the series. They had possibly been inspired by the success of Horizon Zero Dawn, and well, I don't blame them. Horizon Zero Dawn was a great game, and I would love to see a Fable reboot that takes inspiration from Horizon Zero Dawn. How awesome would a Fable game be in an open world map with a variety of continents, landscapes and creatures? And then, number 1, it absolutely needs to keep its typical Fable charm. The random quotes of villagers. I always loved the town crier in Fable 2 with funny quotes like
"The time is very late."
And I think these funny, silly moments are what Fable makes, well, Fable. Of course, when we talk about gameplay, it can be a more hardcore game and not for the casual players like Fable 2 and 3. But God, please let it keep its charm. Also, I think it would be great if they added some charm by making this game in the time of the Old Kingdom, because they will have more freedom then when it comes to the setting and they can give it its typical Fable charm, but with a more high fantasy kind of touch. Well, that was it. My top 10 things I really want to see in the new Fable, but now I'm really interested to hear what you want to see in the new Fable game. Please let me know in the comments and leave a like and subscribe.